Beat, riding for Wally. Kill everybody walking. You know that it's on the finest. BT, how they want you bringing the beat, riding for Wally. Kill everybody walking. You know that it's on the finest.
What's going on, guys? I appreciate you joining me here at the Civilian Mindset channel. Today I'm using my home defense rifle. This is going to be a point shooting day. I'll be doing some accurate shooting, so I already set the optic on. Just say in a hypothetical situation, I could do that, but I'm mostly going to be point shooting. And I'm going to show you guys the offset between my shots and the way I use my barrel or my suppressor. So when shooting with an offset such like this and not using an optic, just kind of point shooting, I aim pretty much like right here, right? I use the barrel or the can, and I use an offset to shoot pretty much like at the groin to hit up in the chest, this area, right? So it's pretty different the way shooting versus like shooting at the head. I can shoot at the head, know that my rifle, the offset between the sight over bore, I already know this, but here it's a little more difficult. So I'm shooting again at like the lower stomach to the pelvis area in order to get upper chest. All right, so I'm cheating a little bit. I've been practicing this for a little. And as you can see, I'm getting upper chest, right? So if I was to want to get here, which I'm not, because this is where the heart is, right? So I shoot around here so that I can get the heart, all right? If I wanted to go here, I would literally shoot at the groin, at this section right here off paper, and I would get center mass. Not what I'm going for. If they have body armor or not, I'm still going right here, because say if I hit the person and they start falling back, it'll eventually climb up and I'll hit the face. Don't mind these. All this was me targeting, zeroing in my rifle. So this was to confirm, but this is where I'm shooting and this is where I'm getting. So I'm shooting up here and I'm getting there. So that means my offset, or my zero is in at 50 yards. So I'm good right here. I'm happy with this zero. Even if I'm a little bit off, I really don't care that much, because I don't plan on engaging a target anywhere between 400 and 500 or 600 yards out. Anywhere between 1 to 300 yards, I'm a happy man. Anyway, so actually from 50 to 300 yards. Anyway, so again, keep in mind, guys, this is where I'm shooting. I'm shooting at the number 7 or a little lower in order to get this section right here, because this is what you want. You want the heart. So number 9 or anywhere around here is where we're going for. Anything around here, think of this as the spine. All right, so this line is the spine. This is your shoulders clearly, right? So you got shoulder, shoulder, neck, spine, heart. All right, so you want, these are all good hits, because this is what I want. I want to collapse his artery. I want to collapse that heart. All right, so I shot lower, and here's what you get. So you got center mass shots because I shot around here. All right, so just keep in mind, guys, that's the kind of stuff that you need to train for. You want to know where your weapon is zeroed, of course, right? That's like your standard SOP, right? Your standard operating procedure. Find out where you're zeroed in at. Then after that, move on. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot like without the optic, and then I'm gonna go for a zero shot, and then I'm gonna transition to the face. All right. All right, so the way I like to run this drill is I'm gonna do 2 to the body. He's not going down. So then I'm gonna go 2 to the face. Quickly, this isn't gonna be something slow. So the moment I transition and I hit that head, boom, 1, 2, right? Might help if I charge it. So, you guys will also notice when I'm firing, I immediately click on and off. All right, so I click on and I fire, right? But when I turn, I click off. You need to get used to that stuff. You don't want to do this and do this. It's faster, sure, but it's not safer. You want to be safe. You want, like, it might so happen where the guy just goes down and now you got a hot weapon and you're transitioning. You want to make sure that, yeah, that it's cool that the weapon is now still in use, but you want to always use your safety selector switch when not taking the shot. So if I'm not taking the shot, it's going right to safe. All right, so safety, fire, safety, fire. Get used to that. Continuously get used to that. This is no joke. This is, to me, one of the most important things in firearms training whatsoever. If I'm going to fire, all right, I don't give a shit what you do. Put that thing on safety. You don't want to hurt anybody else. What if now you want to take that fire, you want to fire that shot? Okay, but what if you don't need to? Now you can stop yourself, pick your firearm up, point it in a safe direction, whatever direction that may be, and this way you already put a safety on it. What if you forget? What if you did that and then all of a sudden something happens and you put your rifle down and then it snags on something and all of a sudden you shoot your foot? You need to continuously always practice safety manipulation. Safety manipulation. Constantly. It's not hard. It's a flick of the finger. All right? Anyway, so I'm just going to show you the hits. As you guys know, those were the same hits that were below the neckline. I think one might be new. I don't know. Regardless, still a good hit. But that's what I'm going for, right? So I'm not going to miss the chest, as you guys can tell, especially from such a close distance. Now, keep in mind, this is the kind of distance that would be from me to one of the thresholds in my home, one of the most immediate thresholds in my home. The reason why I'm practicing this at such a close distance is because this is a close range pistol. This is legitimately a pistol. It might look like a rifle, it is, but its use is simply for close quarter combat, plain and simple. Again, I've said this in plenty of other videos, this is not going to be used at a very short distance at all whatsoever. maybe 200 yards max this thing will get to, and I'll be cool with that, but that's it. I'm not planning on going I'm planning on going 50 to 100 with this thing, and that's it. So that means anywhere from my home, I have about an acre, no, I'm sorry, about a half acre of distance that I can use outside before it's no longer my territory. So that being said, excuse me guys. So that being said, this is about 8 yards-ish. So I'm gonna go to 10 fully. And I'm gonna expel these rounds, which I have only 3 left. So I have 1 in the head and 3 left. So that means there's 2. Then I'm gonna go on empty. I'm sorry, 4, but 2 to the chest, 2 to the head, then empty. Now, real quick, I got the neck again because I shot directly for the center. All right, so remember, keep in mind, my offset is up here and I shot there. I'm okay with the neck shot, especially that close, right? So that's a spine shot if I got that one. If I got that one right there, that's still a face shot, right? Doesn't matter. I'm getting his lower jaw. He's bleeding out. He's dead. But keep in mind, though, again, shoot for the 7, get the heart without an optic. With an optic, I'm shooting right around here and I'm getting dead center. All right, so keep that in mind. Optic, no optic. The difference is pretty big. Optic, look how controlled that is, right? No optic. That's not controlled, but it's still good hits. Okay. So I'm gonna put the camera right here. Now, I'm gonna shoot here, and I want you to see how tight my groupings are. When I'm gonna shoot just 1 shot, there is no target here. I'm gonna shoot 1 shot, and I'm gonna use that as my point of reference, right? So 1 shot's gonna be higher. The rest of the shots are gonna be a little lower, but they're gonna be very close by. All right, and I'm gonna do that. There's 15 rounds here. I'm gonna do that 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then I'm gonna do 5. It's gonna get a little less accurate because I'm gonna go quick, but you're gonna see just how close everything still is. All right, so first shot, right? Everything else inside there was pretty damn accurate, if you ask me. So I'm 90% sure if you take your optic and you consider the option, I would much rather have an optic for a headshot, okay, than taking the weapon at a close quarter angle and knowing that, yeah, that person's right here, and I can put it up to my cheek, or I can shoulder it, which I personally am a shoulder guy. I'll hold it here and I'll fire, and instead of me holding it at my weapon, because I'm this close, right? So my weapon to my phone right here, I'm gonna use my phone almost directly. I'm gonna cover it like 80% right here. But from back here now, I am no longer shooting at my phone. I'm actually shooting at the lower end of my tripod in order to get my phone. Do you see what I'm saying? You guys gotta practice that offset. If you don't practice your offset, you will be putting yourself in danger. Or Now, if you need that accurate shot, instead of this, now you do this, and you've now eliminated any potential miss. So use and consider your weapons so much in ability and in use, right? So if I didn't have the optic, which I normally wouldn't, iron sights, cheap, effective. You don't need an optic for a very short range CQB weapon. But if you don't plan on using your iron sights and you want illuminating light, okay, good. It doesn't matter. Get some form of co-witness or some form of optic for your weapon, so that this way you're not only relying on skill with how much you practice your offsets. That's cool, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, that shit is awesome. Being able to know that I can fire here and I'll get you, or if I'm here and I'll get you, that is awesome. That's great. That means you trained quite a bit. That's great. But when it comes to a high stress situation, yeah, that shit flies out the window. I'm fucking sure of it, because when you start to elevate your body, elevate your mind, elevate your heart rate, and all these things start to happen, listen, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? This is your backup plan. This is your backup plan. Make sure that when you're building a rifle like this, you're not using and relying on solely yourself. Mechanical error is a lot less than human error. You know what I'm saying? Make sense, guys? So anyway, now I am going to be doing pistol stuff right now. So as you see, I'm in baggy clothing. I'm in pretty big clothing, right? So this is the kind of clothing now that is starting to change. As you can hear, I'm a little sick right now, so bear with me, guys. When I use clothing like this, this is what I use, right? So this is my concealed carry Glock 19. Concealed carry Glock 19. Nothing fancy on it whatsoever. Yes, it's out, so nothing fancy on it whatsoever. Light does work, so cool, great. All in all, my favorite, one of my favorite weapons. But again, this is just a regular Glock 19, no optics, like I do my summer weapon. The reason why I don't have an optic on this one is because during the winter, I'm less likely to use my firearm than in the summer. In the summer, things, they just get hot. They happen time to time. You know, you get hot heads because of drinking, alcohol, people around you going, who knows, you go to Music Fest or something like that. I'm in Pennsylvania, so sadly, people are people, and they're not good altogether, right? So during the winter, I'm pretty much by myself. I really don't go too much anywhere. I go to the gun range, and I go to the gym, and I might go to dinner with the wife. 9 times out of 10, I'm in comfortable clothing, so that this way I can carry this big ass rig. I don't like these. I don't like them. I'm now a fan more so of just the weapon alone, nothing on it, just this, and having this. But during the winter, I get to wear fat people clothing. I used to be fat. I used to be around 300 pounds, right? So I can say that shit. If you're a bigger guy, that's okay. Love you. You know what I mean? If I did it, you could lose it. But for the most part, I don't like this. I don't like this setup. But the fact that I can carry another magazine on me, whichever way, it's not a bad thing. But again, I bought this, so I'm gonna use this. If I didn't buy this and I just went with the first configuration, or with the second configuration, which was just the magazine pouch on the side and the holster, I wish I would have done that, but oh well, it is what it is. So since I got this, I'm gonna use it. And since it's a bigger rig, this is what you'll catch me with during the winter and during the cold seasons and stuff like that. All right. So real quick, I also want you guys to note, and yes, you get real dirty when you're shooting. So make sure you guys aren't wearing like clothing that you like and love when training. But anyway, so as you can see, you see these holes right here, right? That's from constant grabbing on my weapon and pulling. But today, I'm not gonna do that. All right. So as you can see, the holes will always be somewhere around there. After so many uses, you're just gonna grab your weapon, hit it so hard where this stuff, it just gets torn apart. Grab, pull, all right? You're gonna grab and pull so that this way you can engage your weapon and pull that out, right? So that being said, you see how big this is? Since I'm wearing big clothing like this, this is when I don't do this and pull, because look how much is access still, right? So it actually sucks, but pull your weapon over, pull your garment over your weapon. You're gonna grab here and then you're gonna pull up, right? So it's a lot. This becomes, it's a pain in the ass for me. I like wearing tight clothing. I wear more form-fitted shit so that this way, it's not to look cooler, not to show off muscles more. It's, to be honest with you, it's less garment. This is a lot of fucking garment, right? So now I'm going to have to pull this up and hope that I pulled up with the rest of my weapon, or garment. So let me now, I'm gonna use the same target so you guys can see, but since again now, also I'm not making excuses, you're gonna see me fumble, right? So you will see me stumble on my weaponry, right? Not my weapon, my clothing. So I'm going to grab, which I don't do. Look, I already almost did it. Grab here, and I might grab garment. I might. So I might have to go 1, 2, and then pull. It's just part of it, bro. This is the kind of stuff you guys got to work on. This is the kind of shit you got to see and get used to yourself. So I'm going to try it now. Actually, what I am going to do, because I do like what I just did, I'm going to go 1, 2, all right? Ah! Oh, okay, good. I'm glad that happened. So, when you fire, this shit is going to happen to you, right? So, when you fire your weapon, there's going to be a time where you didn't seat lock tug, all right? So what happened there is it went in, but it ended up flying out. Okay, that one is in. It looks in. It looks in, but it's not, right? So I'm going to do that again. It looks in, but it's not. So I'm so glad that happened. You don't want to do that shit in an actual fight, right? So make sure you get out and you practice that, right? So now I'm gonna fire 1, gun goes on empty. I'm gonna have to grab this second mag, which has now has 3 rounds in it. And this is why when you first go out, you want to make sure that your weapon, you seat it, you lock and tug it. It's locked and you tug. All right, that's the difference between dying, honestly. All right, so here are my hits. The bigger hits are clearly the pistol, and the smaller hits are the rifle. I had one in the 7, that's a Charlie. So I got I got one alpha, two betas, and one Charlie. All right, so let's walk away. All right, guys. So again, bigger garment, harder, a lot harder to defeat garment when they're this big. So all my big guys out there, I used to be one. Just keep that in mind, that garment is truly your worst enemy when trying to get your weapon out as fast as possible. So now I'm going to do the one reload one. Sorry, I have a super huge headache and I'm sick. The retention in this fucking holster is crazy. It's too much. Gonna have to wear this holster in. I red Loctited it like an idiot and it was a little too tight. All right. So I want you guys to come see my shots. My shooting and my grouping is pretty much all here. As soon as I see blue, I just fire. So as you can see, my hits are good. If I'm going straight A zone, I'm missing, but I'm getting B. So Alpha, Beta, Charlie. Still, actually, technically, I'm in A zone, whatever. But for me, this is A, this is B. Anything outside here is still B, but that's C to me. That means to me I missed. But anyway, yeah, right here is what I aim for. And if I get it here, which clearly I'm getting a few there, I don't give a shit. That's still a good hit. All right, so now I am going to fire a few rounds and I'm going to start moving now. So to me, again, I've said this many times in different videos, moving and shooting is really more than likely what is going to occur. So make sure you move and shoot if you got a range that allows you to do so. So I am going to strictly close in on my target. If I was in this situation, I would not want to, I wouldn't want to make distance. I want to create closeness. I don't know. I want to close the gap, basically, right? So that's the best way to explain it is don't create any distance. You want to close in, all right? So if this is my assailant, whether he has a gun or not, I'm going to be, I'm at a disadvantage because more than likely he has a rifle or something, because if this is an active shooter event, they usually come and they have a backpack, then all of a sudden they get on the ground, the magazine's already in the mag well, they put the fucking rifle together, charge it, and just start ripping away, right? That's kind of how things go nowadays. So I'm already at a disadvantage. So I'm gonna fire a few rounds, I'm gonna go on empty, and I'm still gonna continue to move. I'm going to now show you guys cover. So I'm going to fire, cover, right here, this is my cover. I'm hoping that you can see this. This way you can see every point of contact that I need you to see. Oh, here we go. my hits. I'm aiming nothing but body, okay? So as you guys can see, I'm hitting in this section. I still don't have really anything outside there because, again, once my red dot is on here, here's what I use. So let me see if we can see it. All right, so that's what I use, right? So when I put that thing anywhere, it lights up. So that's like me using a red dot. That's also why I don't use a red dot on this pistol. I'm gonna do that again, and I'm gonna run to cover again. All right. Showing my hits yet again. Still inside here. Some in there now. I mean, I'm not going to pretty much get outside of that. If I start shooting for the head, maybe. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't really shoot for the head unless I knew that that guy had armor on. And I've told you guys this before on another video. I really wouldn't shoot for the head. I would shoot for his groin or his legs. Because most people don't have body armor on their legs. They don't. So if I shoot for the legs or I shoot for the main artery or you know, his groin, his dick or whatever, my man's going down. Body armor or not. If he's got armor, he probably got a helmet on, could even be ballistic. What if he has a whole mask on? You know what I mean? There's a lot of things you can you know, ponder at that moment. But really, center mass shots, you're probably gonna hit him enough to knock his ass down. Get on him and, you know, do what you got to do from there. I can't really say certain things on here because then I'll get flagged. All right, so this is my last 10 rounds. I kind of want to have a little bit of fun, so I'm gonna shoot 5, reload, and I'm gonna shoot 5 from one side, 5 from another, into the same center mass shots. No headshots, no nothing, just center mass shots. All right, so that was awesome. Actually, I had a lot of fun doing that. Just to let you guys know, I winged a few on my last one, not this one. This one was pretty much dead on everything. This was for my last. Anyway, regardless, these are pretty good hits still, right? So say if you shot his arm, he's down. This one is out, but still, regardless, right? So this is the body. This would be your chest and shoulder. I don't know, elbow-ish, right here, stomach. Maybe if he's super skinny, not so much. Maybe it just zinged by something. I don't know, whatever. But more than likely, you're getting them. This is 2 shots in 1, I think. No, 5.56 or 2.23. Anyway, yeah, that's a 9, but you can also see there's other around it. Anyway, so there's my hits, guys. As you can see, from about 10 yards out, this is what I'm doing, the kind of damage that I would be doing if I'm shooting on the move. Also, if I'm using my my CQB rifle, my home defense rifle, thresholds completely different versus this threshold when I'm using optic. So this is optic, no optic. But remember, I'm shooting right here in order to hit my target. If I'm shooting here, I'll hit center mass. If I'm shooting here, I'll hit heart. All right. Here, use my regular offset because that is a damaging shot. You don't want to miss that. But again, these two right here were the zeroing in my rifle. So these ones, this one, and I think this one were already there before I started even training. There was a few that I got in here just to make sure that my weapon was zeroed, and then I moved it here. My weapon was 100% zeroed. Then after that, that's all she wrote. Then again, this was showing you, also remember here, right, zeroed in. So I used this as a point of reference, shot my first shot. I shot up here somewhere, maybe right there somewhere, and then got my point of reference. And then I used this as my point of reference again. And this was all really good shooting. Like I said, there was no target here, but I won't need a target. That was my target. So this grouping stayed inside these two letters. That's more than enough to note that accuracy comes with practice, but accuracy with your optic is completely different than accuracy with knowing your thresholds without an optic, right? So no optic. Anyway, so yeah, today's rounds literally about 50 rounds. That's all I used today. And as you can see, that was a really good training session. I learned quite a few things today, right? So I learned that I hate these clothes. I learned that if I'm gonna use weapons that I use at home, I'm gonna continuously have to practice, because when I first started shooting with my offsets and like remembering where they were, I was a little bit off, but I really wasn't. But it's still something that diminishes. So you should never, if this is your home defense weapon, you rarely ever use it because you know it's really only for the home, or vice versa, right? This is you take your battle weapons out, but you rarely ever use your battle weapons out, and you usually take your home defense weapon, because that is more than likely the case that you and I would be in, especially being civilians. You have to train with all of your weapons, all of them. Don't just think, all right, it's good, I zeroed it in, I don't need to practice with it anymore. You're not going to be proficient with that weapon until you get used to that weapon day in, day out, year in, year out. All right. Again, sorry about my voice and all that. Sorry about my headache and all this stuff, but it is what it is. Changing seasons. So again, I had only 50 rounds here. Shot all 50. Had a good training session. Used only one target. Literally, that would be an amount of maybe 20 something bucks. So there is no excuse not to go train. There is no excuse not to be out here and put in work. I'm sick right now and I'm still here, right? So I don't give a shit if I'm sick. I don't give a shit if it's cold out. I shoot in the rain, I shoot in the snow, I shoot in the heat. Does not matter. I shoot in all weather. And I shoot in all conditions. Being that I'm sick right now, as you can see, I still shoot in all conditions. My voice is messed up. I'm losing my voice. My head is pounding, and I'm still out here because you don't know if these are the conditions that you're going to be under when you actually have to use your weapon. God forbid. So again, 50 rounds. That costs about 15 to 20 bucks, depending on your where you purchased that, and one target. So get out there, train. Love you guys. Be safe. Peace.